Ubuntu means I am because we are. So there's this amazing journey of getting into the we, dealing with all the parts of the me, and tuning into the we. We are the world, not me are the world. We. So digesting even this current reality of how it's only through the purposeful existing, the feeling like we've got our own little bubble bubbling around, but in co-creation with all the other little bubbles doing their bit. And that's where the stories are united, because everybody's owning their bubble. The bubble. 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 Bubble.
What was I going to say?
So, what's been your breakthrough then in these first 2 days?
Well, creatively, okay, so the creative expression part of me, two parts of me were feeling constricted, and they were totally like directly related, correlated, and I had no idea. And so I was frustrated for an extended period of time for reasons I couldn't really, I guess, intellectualize, like rationalize, because I have just this belief that any two people anywhere on the planet can be themselves and create some kind of co-creation. And even if it's not like their like most talented, powerful self, like their art or their skill that they studied, like any two people can find a space to just do something where they don't, there's no tension, there's no friction. Those two people are just being themselves to any like scale, to any degree. Two people harmoniously coexisting and creating something. So then when I see and feel a whole lot of synchronicity and correlations between two people, two interactions, me with someone else, then, and I'm feeling friction because of me, or because of something, and I'm like, where's that friction coming from? Because I truly believe that two people can just be themselves and make something harmoniously. So here I am, and I'm unable to just allow myself to be in this space with this other person to make something, to collaborate.
You're unable, or you've been?
No, I in this time, these last few days, I was unable to do it. And I'm thinking in the moment, like, why am I unable? What is going on? This is not me. This is not how I see the universe. It's not how I perceive or intellectualize the nature of the reality I live in and how it works.
So what was the breakthrough?
So the breakthrough was, well, okay, the breakthrough, on the personal level, the breakthrough started as, okay, I haven't been free. I've been constricted. There have been these other aspects from these other kind of realms that I feel have been constricting me. There's tension on me in a way that I'm not free to be myself. Now, a lot of the times it just feels like it's in the mind. Well, I can just push that away because it's not true. I can't always be myself. But the fact is, it was related too deeply with someone else and my interacting with someone else on a daily, frequent basis. So I couldn't just push it away. It was tied to her energetically. And so until we could digest and relate through it with words, with really trying to bring two realities together, because everyone has different perceptions, try to wiggle that through with this thing called words, these sounds that we just interpret as certain ways, and I realized I'm not being free. And then boom, it would just like opened up all these passages for both of us, these oceans of like, oh my God, realizations, oh duh, yeah, I'm like, really? So I've been going through that the last 12 hours, and then suddenly I pull out the camera, I smoke a little ganja, and I'm like, oh, here's another reason. These characteristics of this other person that were starting to drive me crazy when I was feeling all that tension are exactly what my art, the way I express myself to a very powerful degree, needs to balance. So the camera, I need to pull out and capture that because I'm a filmmaker. And so that's like this really strong part of me is filmmaking. And so sometimes it's just observing and telling a story holding a camera. Other times it's putting a GoPro on, becoming a character in the story. So I have these different dimensions how I tell stories. And so then suddenly there's this person driving me crazy for all the right reasons, all the reasons I love to be a filmmaker. And it was just like all of that. I don't want to look at it like I have any regrets or, oh, I fucked up, but like, you know, just by continuing to be in communication with myself, to be like, oh, you need to be creating, like all the time, you need to be creating, and why are you getting lazy about that? Then, I don't know, it's just so simple. And it all became clear in a way that could probably be expressed a lot more simple than the way I just explained it all. So it started with realizing that a lot of the friction I had I thought was inside of me was actually being shared with the person that I was feeling the friction with. And all it took was a little bit of communication and just bringing up the things that seem trivial, that don't seem important, just talking about them, because you never know what the other perception is going to offer, the other person's perception. So just by bringing up these basic things that I thought were unrelated, boom, suddenly everything opened up. Things I had never even fathomed came to being, came to light.
And what were those two things that you got?
Well, that was one of the things.
Okay.
The other thing was there's other forms of communications, and a lot of times communicating is an art. So whether that's with a camera, whether that's drawing, painting, writing, sometimes it isn't meant to be thought about or spoken about. Sometimes it's meant to be expressed. Dancing, and you need to leave yourself open to all these different mediums of it coming out, because you never know when a new channel will open. And we're infinite beings. So we're not, oh, I'm only a painter. Oh, I'm only a filmmaker. No, we're everything. So the more arsenals you have at your disposal, the more capable you are of really fine-tuning yourself. Was that succinct enough?
And what we're doing is making something that a lot of South Africans do. And since we're in a very upper class town, the proper name of this would be Puikikos, pot food. So you're just making a nice mixture of different things in the pot. So it's pot food, or I guess other places would say potluck. Nobody's angry, by the way, all the shouting and everything. It's just Africa. In Africa, when we're talking, we have a lot to say. We have expressions, and everybody talks, and there's just lots of energy. So we were talking about co-creation, and I feel that the breakthroughs that we've had in these first 2 days of this Shepherds of Ubuntu journey is just really understanding that if you're not co-creating, then there's going to be bumps, because one will feel threatened by the other's co-creation instead of just being inspired by the co-creation and co-creating together.
There's nothing else except this transformation we're working on, right? In our own sphere. It's like we're creating a transformation in society. Even if that's like selling a product and trying to be a successful business, it's transforming like physical space. You open a shop, like imagine. Hello.
I'm telling you already, brother. Now shut up.
And these guys keep the Lion shirt on. I was talking to him earlier. I'm like, yeah. That's the only reality that will ever exist. Is that one we're working on. Like, because that's the reality we create for ourselves.
We're choosing to get the worlds to meet. We're not.
No, worlds can meet if you choose to bring it into your reality.
That's what I'm saying. If we're not both choosing it, it's not going to work.
No, I'm talking about on a grand scale, like the news and politics. It's like
everything.
And sometimes,
you can want to get into the circles, and you haven't adapted yet. You're not adopting any policy yet.
no, but what I'm saying is, like, sometimes choosing to exist in another reality or to bring a reality into yours, a world into yours, is as simple as reading a news article. It's as simple as seeing a headline, and suddenly that's real. Like, it's programming. Like, we're not going to fly 4, 3, 2, 1 that as a whole species.
No.
But we can develop new habits and new tendencies to how we think and how we perceive things like language.
Yes.
You read these words and suddenly it's reality. That's fucking nuts. I don't know what you read about North Korea, but I hadn't seen anything in my bubble. And then I saw people posting government bans Bitcoin memes. Haven't seen anything in my bubble. So it's like, and I sent you something about Namibia banned cryptocurrency. I sent you that on Telegram.
Wow.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is that like we all just have these bubbles of words that come from just somewhere out there, and then that becomes real to us.
Yeah.
Like what are our standards for reality? So it's like if we're not gonna just mute all that and stop looking at news headlines, stop looking at Facebook feeds, because that's a surefire way to live in the reality you live in.
Yeah.
Right? That here we are. There's nothing external
Yeah,
outside
look
of
at
it.
that girl at the restaurant. She's like, what world are you living in?
Yeah, right?
Like, that was such a big jump for her.
And so then as travelers or as a global community, how do we have education, or how do we get educated about these other parts of the world for any given moment if we're going to travel there? Like, how do you get the most unbiased thing you can? Perception videos
Yeah.
of the real people telling their
I
stories.
wish I'd been running my camera today for all of the interactions I was doing. Because seriously, I was getting people to talk. I was getting them to tell me about what's going on in this community. And by the way, there's some giant stingrays in the harbor.
Oh really?
Yeah.